Fer-de-Lance, one of two new ships introduced in 1.2 build, and Fer-de-Lance is expensive one. Fer-de-Lance is supposed to be a ship for wealthy bounty hunters, so kinda luxury. Devs on forums said that Fer-de-Lance hull is made from more resistant materials, so small weapons will have damage penalty against Fer-de-Lance's hull. My Fer-de-Lance top speed is around 295 meters per second, boost 397. The base price is around 51 million. Remember to visit Jameson Memorial in Founders World if you have access to get 10% discount. You can get Founders World permit if you reach the elite ranking in any trading, combat or exploration, or you are Founders level backer. Fer-de-Lance is a medium ship which has 6 utility mounts, 4 medium hardpoints located above the ship and 1 huge hardpoint located below. Maximum cargo capacity without shields 70 tons. Let's start with good stuff. It's a sleek looking ship, fast enough, with good base shield strength. It is agile, huge hardpoint is good addition. And it's a shame that for now there are only few huge weapons available. But devs have promised that in future we will have greater variety of huge weapons. Now let's talk about bad things. The worst is power plant. Only class 5 power plant. That means you will not be able to power all you need. And you will have to choose. That's why the ship is called glass cannon. Or you tank up with shields, with shield boosters and shield cell banks, but at expense of modules and weapons. Or you get best weapons, which will require most power usage and have lower rating shield boosters, and probably will not be able to use shield cell banks with your hardpoints deployed. Or you will have to set priorities right, so when you enable shield cell bank your hardpoints will go offline. That forces players to think. If you could fit all you want, this ship would be overpowered. But for now, there are many variations of this ship and players have to think hard. Second, medium hardpoints I don't quite like. If you are going against large ships, medium hardpoints against enemy hull will receive 33% damage penalty. But as we all are aiming at power plants, this is not such a big issue. Fuel capacity of 8 tons is really low. And it is good news that in 1.3 we will be able to fit additional fuel tanks on our ships. And jump range for Fer-de-Lance also is not good. My combat Fer-de-Lance can jump around 13 light years. And the bar in the middle of your cockpit also is pretty annoying. Of course you can get used, but I would expect from luxurious ship a little bit better view from cockpit. Now let's talk about hardpoint locations. Medium hardpoints are located above the ship and huge hardpoint below, in the middle. You can use fixed weapons very effectively on Fer-de-Lance. But the moment you want to switch to gimbaled weapons, you will find out some weird stuff. Obviously, to fire huge hardpoint you will have to pitch up, because you only can fire huge hardpoint at enemies that are straight ahead or below your ship's nose. Same goes for all medium hardpoints. Because they are located above your ship, they will fire only straight ahead and at enemies that are above your ship's nose. And medium side hardpoints will track your enemies very little, because they are too deep in your hull, so they are best used for fixed weapons. You can also try gimbaled weapons on both medium hardpoints on the right or on the left, or use gimbaled weapons on medium hardpoints closer to your nose. But you should try with different fire groups and see what works best for your weapons of choice. There are not many weapons you could use in huge hardpoint. I would suggest you use huge cannon or plasma. Plasma is good against shields and hull, and cannon, especially gimbaled cannon, huge gimbaled cannon, is very good at killing power plants. In a Wing of 4 you could kill most anacondas with 1 or 2 shots from each ship, so just several seconds. In some cases might be useful to use large beam laser, sacrificing huge hardpoint for large one. At least until there'll be good thermal weapon and huge hardpoint. I only doubt that Fer-de-Lance's power plant will be able to handle huge beam laser, if there'll be any. Medium weapons, whatever you want, from beam lasers, railguns, cannons, multi-cannons. It's all up to you. For PvE you could have large beam laser, 2 medium beam lasers and 2 multi-cannons. Or use 4 medium fixed lasers of your choice and huge gimbaled cannon to finish enemies after shields are gone. For PvP you most likely will need railguns. Fer-de-Lance can handle 3 railguns without overheating that much. An example, you can have 1 huge cannon, 3 railguns and 1 beam laser. Or you can use large beam, medium beam and 3 railguns. Anyway, it's up to you. But in PvP you should use weapons that do most damage against shields. And also your weapon loadout should change accordingly to your enemies and wingmates. Because if you are alone, you probably would want different loadout compared to when you are in a wing of 4. Especially if you jump out and back in to recharge your shields. Then you don't need many shield boosters and you will not use shield cell banks at all, so more power to weapons. Also, if you are fighting smaller ships, you would like different weapons than if you are fighting large ships. So there are no universal weapon loadout for Fer-de-Lance. Let's take a look at Cockpit. It's supposed to be a luxurious ship for bounty hunting. Well, it feels nice, but I don't get why this bar should be there in the middle of your view. If this would be a real-world spaceship, the designer should have been fired right away. Fer-de-Lance is a 2-seater, but the visibility is great, and you get used to those bars very fast. Still, decision to put 2 seats and both seats with bad visibility is kinda silly in my opinion. Pilot should have much better view. As you see, if you have anything targeted, this bar can hide some HUD information from you. But overall the visibility is great and Cockpit looks nice. It's just not as nice as Imperial Clipper. Let's have some fun and compare Fer-de-Lance to Python. Now let's start with shields. The best shields has Anaconda obviously, but second and third place is Fer-de-Lance and Python. The difference is not that big. These shields are with best shield generators. And it might seem that Fer-de-Lance has better shields. But it's not the case because Fer-de-Lance has class 5 power plant. Yes, you can get better shields, but at expense of modules and firepower. Usually, Fer-de-Lance will have weaker shields than Python. And what makes it even worse is that Python can handle shield cell banks same time as weapons. On Fer-de-Lance, power issues will force you to think. Probably you'll have to enable shield cell bank and disable weapons automatically by setting priorities. I have Python and Fer-de-Lance, and on my Python I have 4 shield boosters easily, thus plus 80% to my shields, while on my Fer-de-Lance I only have rating C 3 shield boosters, so total of plus 36% shield increase. Now let's compare price. The initial price is very similar, 51 million for Fer-de-Lance and 57 for Python. Combat fitted ships differ a lot, like 2 times. Both ships have military grade composite bulkhead, so around 210 million for Python and 100 million for Fer-de-Lance. Speed. Fer-de-Lance is almost 40 meters per second faster, and around 60 meters in boost. Jump range. Python has slightly better jump range. Power plant. As I said, Python has class 7 and Fer-de-Lance only class 5. And as Python is multi-purpose ship, you can fit it for whatever you want. While Fer-de-Lance is dedicated fighting ship and you will need best weapons, best thruster, shields, boosters and other stuff, and those are very power-hungry modules. Utility mounts. While Fer-de-Lance has 6 and Python only 4, you could fit 6 shield boosters on Fer-de-Lance only if you use pulse lasers or multi-cannons, all weapons that are not power demanding. While on Python, you can use best weapons, best modules, shield cell banks, and best 4 shield boosters as well. Hardpoints. Fer-de-Lance has 1 huge and 4 medium, great for fixed weapons, not so good for gimbaled. Python, 3 large and 2 medium, also good for fixed, and my opinion is that Python can use gimbaled weapons much more effectively. And if we consider what developers told us, that Python is a large ship, but it just happens to fit medium size landing pad, only 1 huge hardpoint of Fer-de-Lance will not have damage penalty against Python's hull. 4 medium hardpoints of Fer-de-Lance will have around 33% damage penalty, transforming 4 medium hardpoints in 2.7, while all 3 large and 2 medium hardpoints on Python will have 100% against Fer-de-Lance's hull. But if you consider targeting subsystems, then it's not such a big deal. And cargo without shields, 292 for Python and 70 for Fer-de-Lance. So you can use Python for much more than just fighting. What you should know is that there's only 1 ship, apart from Fer-de-Lance, that will mass lock Fer-de-Lance. That's an Anaconda. Python, however, will be mass locked by Fer-de-Lance. And because of this, as well as speed, Fer-de-Lance is top choice for PvP for now. Because of speed, Fer-de-Lance's pilot will decide when to end the battle. But the real use of Fer-de-Lance is in a wing of 4. Then you can make a glass cannon with very insane firepower, it's fast, it will mass lock all but Anacondas, and you don't need so many shield boosters or shield cell banks at all because you can jump out in and recharge your shields.